Hi everyone, this is Jaya Patra and I am here to present the topic service oriented architecture. Let's take a look on the points I am concentrating on. The points are: what is SOA? Where SOA is used? Why companies adopted SOA? Principles of SOA, benefits of SOA, enterprise benefits of SOA, and companies who adopted SOA. Let's focus on what is SOA. Service-oriented architecture is the evolution in software architecture design pattern that supports service orientation. So I introduced the concept of using services instead of using single monolithic program. Services are reusable components. Services exchange messages to inform each other about events or to request for information or to request to perform an action on their behalf. Basically, SOA allows easy cooperation between computing entities. It makes mutual data exchange easy between programs of different vendors without making any change to the services or doing any additional programming. The use of services result in lower development and maintenance cost. The SOA architecture is independent of any product, vendor, or technology. The next question is, where SOA is used or in which situation we need SOA? We need service-oriented architecture to integrate a heterogeneous technology stack. That means if the code is written in Java, Perl, Python, C++, COBOL, and we have written stored procedures on databases, and each programming language can call those procedures. But if we are working with a database where we cannot write stored procedures, then we need to run over port 80 and we could wrap the SQL calls in a service-oriented layer. Here SOA comes into the picture. SOA is used to make different user interfaces for the same data source, to make platform-independent interfaces. To facilitate client using any device with any OS can use the service. We need SOA if application data or logic cannot be run locally. Let's take a look why companies adopted SOA. The companies adopted SOA as SOA is capable of delivering IT solutions in a faster and smarter manner. It allows organizations to connect and share information and business processes easier than before, simplify developers' roles by providing standard frameworks. It helps in accelerating products and services. SOA supports business agility. It allows organizations to respond quickly to the changes in business. It makes business and IT more aligned. Services are reusable components, so the cost of development is reduced. It results in lower development and maintenance cost. SOA use web services, and web services bring new business opportunities by enabling new business models. Web services are capable of measuring value and discrete return in a different way as compared to the traditional functional benefit methods. SOA maximizes the return of investment. These are the reasons why companies adopted SOA. Now let's take a look on principle of SOA. The principle of SOA is explicit boundaries. When the services is invoked, all the necessary things should be passed to the service to provide its functionality. A publicly exposed interface is needed to access the service, and the interface is controlled by a contract which defines its non-functional and functional characteristics. The invocation of service is not a remote procedural call and has impact on resource consumption. The second principle is shared contract and schema, not class. If a service provider provides code in its own environment and the consumer is using a different development or runtime environment, then the consumer would not be able to reuse the code. But in SOA, the data exchanged in XML document which can be validated against one or more schemas and which is supported by different programming languages. SOA is policy driven. If the service provider and consumer are using different platforms, then also the consumer can access to a service. A policy mechanism is introduced in SOA. The functional and non-functional aspects are defined in service interface as well as in policies. One of the most important principles of SOA is services are autonomous. To enable a great accessibility and longer usability, services are accessible from different platforms using a specific wire format, not a programming language APIs. SOA is document oriented. Data is passed as document in SOA to interact with data, which is documents is nothing but an explicitly modeled hierarchical container for data. SOA is standard compliant. It does not depend on proprietary API. Some of the standards are metadata transfer and transport protocol, documents and data formats. The other principles of SOA is like SOA is loosely coupled. It is vendor independent. SOA concentrates on interoperability and portability standards so that the end results should not be restricted by any vendor roadmap. Another principles of SOA are SOA is metadata driven and the services are reusable, stateless and discoverable. So now take a look on benefits of SOA. SOA makes systems simpler. It uh, lowers the maintenance cost and integration cost. It makes business more agile. It modernizes the IT infrastructure. It enhances architectural flexibility and it ensures high performance of the system. These are the benefits of SOA in business perspective. Let's have a look on enterprise benefits of SOA. As we already know that services is nothing but an individual functionality which can be accessed or shared across different applications. So adopting SOA ensures multiple benefits like loosely coupling. Loosely coupling in SOA gives a greater advantage that it ensures that services are implemented without impacting other services. Loosely coupled system moderates the difference between components, security models, protocols, etc. It supports for dynamical binding. The benefits of SOA is rich testability. SOA is basically based on layer-based architecture. It breaks testing into different areas such as services, governance, and security. The services are reusable and independent. So SOA ensures the independent testing and higher level of quality. One of the most important feature of SOA is location transparency. Consumers should not be bothered about the implementation of services or where the service resides. The feature reusability is one of the most important benefit of SOA. SOA ensures that applications running in different platforms can access services written in some other platforms. It introduced reusable facilities in heterogeneous environments such as Java, .NET, C, C++, etc. And this feature of using services helps to use core legacy system work indefinitely. SOA also allows parallel development because of it is based on layer-based architecture. As the services are contract-based and independent of each other, it could be developed parallelly. It also ensures higher availability and better scalability. So I introduced the concept of clustering and rerouting of the load balancer increases availability and scalability in SOA environment. Next, take a look at the companies who adopted SOA. IBM, Microsoft, Accenture, Oracle, SAP are the partners of SOA, and the other companies are Honeywell, Disney, Alliance, American Express, Intel, eBay, Avis, Delta, Coca-Cola, Bank of America, etc. So these are the references from where taken, I have read the article from theirs. And please feel free to post questions and thank you so much.